SpongeBob SquarePants Mysteries. Find a missing star. Chapter 22. My partner and I were in a tough spot. For a detective like me, it wasn't the first time. Well, actually, to tell the truth, it was the first time I've ever been stuffed in a potato sack and hauled away by a pirate. But now that I was in the danger biz, I had a strong feeling it wouldn't be the last. After what seemed like a long trip on the shoulders of pirates, occasionally they were passed from one pirate to another, SpongeBob and Squidward were dumped on a hard floor. Whomp! Whomp! They were still tied up in bags, so they couldn't see where they were, but they could hear pirates talking. "What's this?" a deep voice asked. "What have you brought to our den, me hearties?" "A couple of bilge-sucking little buccaneers, Captain," a higher voice rasped. "All tied up in sacks, nice and neat." What sounded like a pair of heavy boots clumped closer to the bags. "And what would I want with a pair of bilge-sucking little buccaneers?" the deep voice asked. "They don't sound like useful additions to me fierce and ruthless crew." Two or three other pirates laughed at the notion of SpongeBob and Squidward joining the crew of their pirate ship. "Nay, Captain," one of them cried. "That they don't. Much too small and weak." The boots walked away from the sacks, then one of the pirates squeaked as though he'd been picked up by the throat. "Ah!" "Then perhaps you'd like to explain," the deep-voiced pirate they'd called Captain growled. "Why you brought the scurvy dogfish here to our secret hideout?" "They've got treasure!" the pirate yelped. "Treasure?" the head pirate asked. "How do you know that?" "Their parrot gave them away," another pirate explained. Thump! From inside their bags, SpongeBob and Squidward heard the sound of a pirate being dropped to the floor. "Aye," the captain said. "Parrots'll do that. Can't keep their big beaks shut. All right, let's see these rich little thieves." The big heavy boots clumped across the room to the sacks again. The captain yanked the bags down to SpongeBob's and Squidward's necks so their heads were sticking out. They saw a huge pirate in a long black coat and a scuffed hat with a picture of a skull on the crown glowering at them from under his thick, bushy eyebrows. His name was Captain Cruel, a name he'd richly earned and long lived up to. "Hello," SpongeBob said politely, but Squidward was in no mood for manners. "How dare you stuff us in these smelly sacks and carry us around on your bony shoulders? I demand that you untie us immediately!" The pirates stared at Squidward for a moment. Then they burst into raucous laughter, doubling over and pounding each other on the back. They couldn't believe the little guy had talked to their menacing leader like that. No one gave orders to Captain Cruel. "What's so funny?" Squidward snarled. "Stop laughing at me! What is this crummy place anyway?" The laughter stopped abruptly. Captain Cruel loomed over Squidward, his long black beard hanging down on Squidward's face. "This be our pirate's den," he said in a voice so deep Squidward could feel it vibrating in his chest. "What's so crummy about it?" Squidward looked around the gloomy room. There were barrels and chests stacked in the corners with dust and cobwebs covering them. Bottles and food wrappers were strewn on the floor. The walls were covered with stains where the pirates had thrown their mugs so they could enjoy watching them smash into bits. "Oh, nothing," Squidward said, intimidated by the huge pirate towering over him. "It's charming. I love what you've done with the decor." "So," the captain said threateningly, "I'll give you 10 seconds to hand over your treasure." Squidward looked exasperated. "We haven't got any treasure." "I see," Captain Cruel said. "And I'll give you 10 seconds to hand over your map to the treasure." Shaking his head, Squidward insisted, "I told you, we haven't got any treasure. Or treasure maps. Do you believe everything parrots tell you?" The captain nodded. "Mostly, yes. In my experience, parrots seem more honest than the pirates whose shoulders they perch upon. The other pirates in the room nodded, thinking this was a wise observation. No wonder he's the captain, one of them whispered respectfully. Captain Cruel slowly paced back and forth, thinking. So, you won't tell us where the treasure is, he said. Well, we've got ways of making you talk. He turned to his crew. What do you think, boys? What should we do with these two treasure hiders? Several pirate hands and hooks shot into the air. Oh, call on me! Nasty Ned, the captain said, pointing to a filthy pirate with tangles in his beard. I say, we string them up, yank off their boots, and tickle their feet with feathers! Nasty Ned suggested enthusiastically. He hated being tickled himself and figured SpongeBob and Squidward would quickly give up their secrets to stop the tickling. Okay, tickling, Captain Cool said, writing it down on a pad. Let's call that suggestion number 1. Make 'em walk the plank, a pirate with a bright purple sash around his waist blurted out. The captain glared at him. Sure, John Purple, don't talk out of turn. Wait till I call on ye. Sure, John Purple lowered his head. Yes, Captain. Sorry. He raised his hand waiting to be called on, but SpongeBob had heard enough of this bloodthirsty debate over how to make them talk. May I say something, please? He said sharply. All the pirates turned toward him. Oh, good, Captain Cool said. So you're ready to tell us where the treasure is. I hope it's not too far. Or buried too deep. Frankly, our shovels aren't the best. SpongeBob shook his head, still sticking out of the burlap sack. No, it's not too far. It's not very deep, because we don't have any treasure! The pirates just laughed. They obviously thought SpongeBob was lying. He realized he'd have to somehow prove to them that he wasn't a real pirate with a chest full of jewels and gold. Look, he said, trying to stay calm and unreasonable. You think we have treasure because Squawky said we have lots of treasure, right? The pirates nodded. Aye, that's right. Who's Squawky? Short John Purple asked, confused. His parrot, obviously, Nasty Ned explained. Oh, right. Short John Purple said, pretending to understand. He still didn't get it. Well, SpongeBob said, smiling triumphantly, what if I told you we aren't even real pirates and that Squawky is a fake parrot? I bought him at a costume supply store. The pirates looked doubtful. The big hulking pirate who'd asked SpongeBob about his parrot back in the Eye Pouch and Peg Leg perked up. But he talked! I heard him! Other pirates nodded and muttered. They'd heard Squawky talk too. Because Squidward pulled a string that made him talk, SpongeBob explained. Who's Squidward? Another pirate asked. You said your names were Porous Pete and Captain Tough. Captain Tough? The real pirate captain repeated. He slapped one of his big fists into his palm. Smack. Well, we'll see about that. SpongeBob managed to jerk his head toward his investigative partner. He's Squidward. We're undercover, in disguise. Take these bags off us and we'll show you. The pirate crew looked to their leader for a decision. He stared down at SpongeBob and Squidward sitting on the dirty floor in their sacks. Laughing, he said, set them free. If they try anything fancy, I think we can handle the little sea squirts. Short John Purple whipped his cutlass out of his sash, strode across the room, and with 2 quick slashes cut the knotted ropes around the bags. They fell to the floor, revealing SpongeBob and Squidward in their pirate costumes. Squawky the parrot had come off SpongeBob's shoulder and was in his hands. Getting to his feet, SpongeBob held up the fake bird and grabbed the ring attached to the string that made him talk. See? He said. I pull the string and Squawky the fake parrot talks. He pulled the string and let it go. Wow! I'm a real parrot! Squawky claimed. Captain Cruel raised a bushy black eyebrow. The bird says he's real. But he's not, SpongeBob said. Listen! He pulled the string again. Totally real, Squawky insisted. There, the captain said, satisfied. That proves it. The pirates muttered among themselves, nodding. They were convinced Squawky was telling the truth. that? SpongeBob yelled, frustrated. He yanked the string a third time. Anyone who says I'm not real is a liar! Wow! Squawky announced. Grrr! SpongeBob growled. I've had it with this stupid bird! He threw the bird toward the pirates. Nasty Ned caught him and cradled the parrot in his arms. Squawky, he whispered. You're my new best friend. Squidward stood up. Forget the parrot, he said. The point is, we don't have any treasure. We're not even real pirates, see? He ripped off his pirate costume, revealing the detective clothes underneath. That's right, SpongeBob said, tearing off his pirate costume too. We're not pirates. See? We're private detectives searching for our friend Patrick. You might know him as Pinky. We think he might have been kidnapped, Squidward said. Any idea who might have done it? Did you guys kidnap Patrick? SpongeBob asked. If you did, just let him go and we'll call it a day. No hard feelings. The pirates looked surprised by their prisoner's transformation and confused by their questions about someone named Pinky. Their captain walked slowly over to SpongeBob and Squidward, studying them. So, you're not pirates, he said. You're private eyes. Yes, Squidward said, relieved. Glad you managed to get that through your thick pirate skull, finally! Captain Cruel turned away from the two little detectives and walked back toward his fearsome crew, jerking a thumb back towards SpongeBob and Squidward. Okay, boys, he said. Get 'em! Stay tuned for chapter 23 coming up soon.